Hello everybody. Today we're going to make Texas hash on the Kamado Joe. In front of us we have our ingredients. We're going to start with a pound of hamburger, got some chili powder, kosher salt, fresh ground black pepper, angel hair pasta, celery, onion, and green pepper. So we're going to start by chopping up our vegetables. Alright, so that's done. Now that we've got that finished and out of the way, let's get a pot of boiling water started and do up our angel hair pasta. For this recipe, usually I use half of the box. Today I'm cooking the pasta in a Dutch oven because this is the vessel I'm going to use on the Kamado Joe to cook up everything else. Alright, once the pasta has been cooked per the directions on the box, it's time to drain it. If there are any stragglers left behind in the Dutch oven, go ahead and take those out because now it's time to put that on the grill. Alright, I've preheated my grill up to 400 degrees and I'm going to pop on the Dutch oven. For my grill grate positioning, I have the X rack on in the low position and the heat deflectors sitting on top of that, with the grill grates in the top position. I'm going to go ahead and close the lid, and even though this is still hot from cooking the pasta, I'm going to let that kind of get warmed up all the way throughout. Alright, after about 5 minutes or so, we're going to start by cooking our hamburger meat. Just break that up a bit and then get the lid closed. Alright, after about 5 minutes or so, I'm going to go ahead and hit this with a little bit of that salt, pepper, and chili powder. Just to give it a little bit of seasoning here. And we're going to go ahead and stir this up a little bit. So this meat is not going to cook like it does on your stove, so you're going to have to be a little bit patient with it, but believe me, you will be rewarded. Alright, it's been about another 10 minutes or so, and the hamburger is looking good. So it's time to vacate this out, and I'm going to use the slotted spoon here so that we can keep all of the juices in there. And I have my assistant over here. She's going to hand me this bowl, and we're going to put the hamburger in here. Alright, if you have any leftover juice, you might want to take some of it out. You just want to leave a little bit in there because now we're going to toss in our aromatics. So I'm going to use a ball syringe here, and I'm going to let some of this, drain some of this out. And, whew. Okay. Smells good.
The fire did that.
Alright, so we're just going to leave a little bit in there. It was. And then we're going to take all of our aromatics that we chopped up before and we're just going to dump them in here. Alright, and then we're going to hit these with a little bit of salt, pepper. just a little chili powder. Give that a little stir. All right, I'm gonna close the lid. We're gonna let those cook for a bit, probably about 8 minutes or so. We'll check on them, and if we need to go a little bit longer on them, we will, before we combine everything together. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's check in on our aromatics here. And oh man, those smell really, really good. And we're just gonna go ahead and give this little stir here. I almost forgot that I like to add some diced tomato and a can of stewed tomatoes to this. So I'm gonna wait until these kind of come together a little bit more before adding those in. But do as you like with this dish. Add anything you want to it. It's really up to you. That's the fun part of it. All right, yeah, these are looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and close the lid, probably let these go for about another 5 or 8 minutes. All right, let's check on these. Looking really good, smells great. I think it's time for us to go ahead and add that tomato in now. Here's the can of diced, and we have a can of stewed here. I don't drain my cans because I like to have the flavor of all of that liquid in here. And eventually, you know, we're going to add that hamburger back in here. We're going to add back in the pasta. And then we're going to top this with some cheese after we blend all of that together. Okay, I'm going to close the lid and let those tomatoes come up for about 5 minutes or so. And then we're going to toss in that hamburger, mix that back in, and then we're going to throw in our pasta here shortly after that. All right, so there we go. We got some bubbly going on here. So now we know that this has been warmed up. Let's go ahead and toss in our hamburger, reincorporate that into the mix here. So now it's time to add in the spaghetti, and usually I like to add it a little bit at a time because I don't want to add too much. You want to find that right balance, so usually I'll just cut what I made in half like that, and then we'll toss in 1/2 of that, and we'll mix that in. Okay, looking pretty good here. And now, for the best part, we're gonna top this with cheese. And then we're gonna let that cheese sit on there for a 1/2 hour with the lid closed. And it's gonna melt and hopefully get a little bit of a crust. And that's gonna be really delicious. All right, so let's pop the lid closed. We're gonna let that sit for 30 minutes. All right, let's check in on our Texas hash. It's been about another 30 minutes here. That cheese should be nicely melted and browned up. And outstanding. Oh, I can't wait to dig into that. That looks awesome. It smells great. Boy, that's going to be an awesome dinner. All right, so it's time to go ahead and take that on inside, and we're going to let that cool for a little bit. Alright, so here we are back inside. I'm probably going to let this sit and rest for about 15 minutes before digging in. So check out this recipe down in the video description. Let me know what y'all think. Please leave a comment, like the video, consider subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video, and I hope you enjoy Texas hash on the Kamado Joe.